Hey everybody, welcome to this week's video. I am gonna do something totally different this week and honestly just be super transparent with you guys. Over the last couple weeks, you guys have tuned in faithfully to look at and enjoy all of my Voice of Vegas videos. They have been a lot of fun for me to make and hopefully a lot of fun for you guys to watch. But honestly, the content is super meaningful and it's hopefully let you connect with key influencers and people who are doing a lot of great work here in the Las Vegas community. Today, I want to stray away from that topic and teach you about something that I realized a couple weeks into this process. Every single one of these videos I've done, I have made a big mistake on. That's right. I want to share with you today the biggest fails I've made on this entire project. So this project started off a couple months ago when I thought about what I wanted this channel to be and what I really wanted to share with you guys in hopes to inspire you guys to learn, to create, and to share alongside with me. So far the channel's been going great. I've got quite a few different views off the videos. And again, I appreciate you guys spending time with me every single week. Before I break down my critical mistakes I made in each and every single video, I want to share one main concept for today's video, and that is this: we learn by doing. You see, leading up to this project, I cannot tell you the amount of hours I've spent on YouTube, on Vimeo, searching the internet, spending time and my money on master classes to all teach me more and more about how to film people, how to interview them, how to ask proper questions, how to light, gear, all this kind of stuff. Countless upon countless of hours of my life spent trying to study this craft and make it better. But nothing can substitute at the end of the day from hard work and actually doing what you want to do. You see, I spent, like I said, so many hours trying to view content, view footage about how to do something without actually doing it first. If I hadn't have actually gone out there, put myself out there, try to create something, I would have never learned these lessons firsthand. You see, I follow a lot of influencers on YouTube, people like Casey Neistat, who has sayings like,
do what you can't, do what you can't.
Other people like Peter McKinnon have phrases like,
done is better than perfect.
But at the end of the day, you learn best and I learn best by doing. So let's get into it. So video number one I did with my great friend Dominique, and she's becoming a life coach. You can view the video here in the link above. The big lesson I learned here is the fact of audio and syncing audio properly in each camera. You see, both of us were wearing Smart Labs from Rode. Love the product, it's so fantastic. I'm mic'd up with a Smart Lab now. It's great audio for the price. I'd highly recommend it. However, in an interview setting, when both of us are mic'd up together and we were sitting somewhat close to each other, when you're that close to each other's mics would actually pick up the other person at the exact same time. So even though my channel, when I would be speaking, is on and her channel is on as well, in post to make it sound right, I actually had to go in and mute the other person's channel while the other person was talking. Otherwise it would sound like there's a huge echo in the room because my mic would be picking up her and her mic would be picking up me. So lesson number one is get the audio right when you're doing a dual person interview setup. Video number two, I went down to the Women's Resource Medical Center here in Las Vegas downtown. But I didn't go down there by myself. I went down there with a team of people, another second videographer, as well as a person who had organized the entire event and would be interviewing and asking Michelle questions while we were filming her. So I do everything I normally do. I use my Smart Lab that I have, plug it directly into my phone, and I realize as soon as I plug into my phone, I've already mic'd up the talent and everything, the mic's not working. I unplug it, replug it back in, and nothing. You see, this entire Smart Lab is dependent upon how well it is, depending on this one key adapter for me that plugs into the Lightning connector on my iPhone. And for whatever reason, I grabbed the wrong Lightning adapter that was a bad one. So the entire interview, I had planned on using the audio from the Smart Lab to be plugged into there and sync the audio backwards in post. Luckily, that time we actually did have a shotgun overhead that I had to incredibly get rid of a lot of noise from. Afterwards, it all post-processing. So number two, again, is an audio issue. Sounds like there's a theme here running with me for audio. Oh well, I hope I'll learn my lesson here in the future. But number two, the lesson learned is make sure that all the connections for your audio, each cord, each port, each thing you're recording into is tested and right before you actually press the record button and before you hopefully actually get on location where you're filming the talent. Week number three, that was my bye week. I had a kid, please excuse me. Week number 4, however, was down at the Las Vegas Rescue Mission where we interviewed Chuck, who had came through the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. Now you say, what was your lesson learned this time? Lesson number 3 is to always create a checklist of all the pieces of gear you're gonna take before you go on and shoot. And I'll explain this. You see, right now my camera is sitting on top of a tripod, and the thing that melds the camera to the tripod is one single plate that gets screwed into the bottom of the camera, and then it slips onto the tripod, creating this awesome setup where it's hands-free and I don't have to do anything. However, guess what I forgot on that one shoot? You're right, the tripod plate. I had grabbed everything, my camera, monitor, my mic, my tripod, everything. I forgot the one piece that connects the camera to the tripod plate. So that interview you see with Chuck, the entire time I am holding the camera on top of the tripod, trying not to shake as much as possible and get smooth footage the entire time. So again, lesson number 3, make a checklist of all your gear, check it before you leave the house to make sure you have everything when you go out on location. Number 4, lesson number 4, this is super pet peeves of mine, and it's picky. It's a technical thing when you're talking about interviews. But week number 5, lesson number 4 for us is from when I interviewed Joy of the Cupcake Girls. Now, already going into this interview with Joy, I knew a little bit about the location. I know she had a giant logo of her company and her nonprofit in the background, the Cupcake Girls. So I wanted that in the shot, but I wanted it off frame. So my goal was to try to put it right in over her left-hand shoulder, camera right, but over her left-hand shoulder, so it would be in frame the entire time. The problem is I violated a huge no-no when it comes to interviewing people. When you're interviewing people, ideally they're supposed to look, especially if they're in a third of the screen, they're supposed to be looking across the entire frame, so it makes it look like you're drawing people into the footage. I had her, as opposed to looking to the right, where the logo was right over her left-hand shoulder, I had her looking over to her right, camera left, so it looked like logo is over here, totally drawing attention away from it as opposed to it, looking off camera at me this way. And it just was, she did great. I love the interview. All the content and everything she said was super inspirational and great. My setup for the interview was horrible though. And I didn't realize it until I drove away and I was already done with the entire shoot. And I said, oh my word, the entire framing of this whole interview and this whole talk was completely dead wrong. So why do I share all these fails with you or share all these lessons that I've learned with you? Hopefully it's to encourage you this way. A couple things. I would say, I want to reiterate what I said at the beginning. We learn by doing. So whatever it is that you have inside of your brain right now that you're contemplating releasing, maybe writing a book, a blog, speaking to somebody, making a speech for a public, maybe it's trying to start a podcast, whatever it is, that is inside your head that you're trying to organize and trying to really perfect until you release it, stop. Stop right now. Stop trying to get it perfect and just let it go. You see, done is better than perfect. I have a big tendency in my life to want every single thing, every single detail to be exactly perfect before I release it to all of you and to the entire world. The problem is nothing is going to be perfect. Eventually, you just have to let go and create. I could not have learned all those lessons if I had just sat in front of a screen critiquing video, watching lessons of people on the internet saying this is how you should do it, this is how in theory you should do it, follow this. I had to myself get out there and do it myself. So I challenge you, the best books haven't been written yet, the best blogs haven't been written, the best speeches haven't been spoken, and the best videos have not been yet created, and the best stories have yet to be told because they're still in somebody's head out there that's listening to me. So my challenge for you today is get out there and do it, learn by doing. Until next week, thanks.